Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the All Four Downs podcast. I'm your host, Ovi1. And indeed, we are set for the conference championship that's going to be happening this weekend. But of course, tune in to our website, 4downs3counts.com, for the latest blog. Also, tune in to the latest podcast called Lyrically Speaking, which is updated every week. You want to catch that because you never know if your favorite song is on there, and I'm definitely talking about it. But hey, let's go ahead and move on because there's some tunes going on here in the NFL. But before we get to the NFL, I would like to talk about the recap of the college football. Yes, history was made, and I'm with Hector V in the house. Hector, welcome back.
Yes,
I know I
sir.
missed
Glad
you
to be
last
back.
time, man, but you're here. So I'm glad you're with me, man. We're going to hit first down. The game that we kind of talked about before the show started. You thought it was very slow, but then all of a sudden the second half it took off. But and the final score was 27-21. Indiana Hoosiers is no longer a basketball school. No, no, no. It is not only just a football team, it is a history of the first team ever to win 16-0 and become the 2026 national champion. It's phenomenal, man. Phenomenal.
Yeah, they did something Tom Brady couldn't even do. Yeah.
Technically, they did go 16-0,
But
didn't
they
they?
didn't win the national. But they didn't win
No,
the
no,
Super Bowl.
no. But it's still hard to do though, man, to go all season undefeated. And then you got to play a couple of more games. Technically, they would have been 19-0 if they would have won the Super Bowl, but that didn't happen. But regardless, I mean, look, they they played a game, right? There's a winner and there's a loser. And for Miami, I mean, you're getting shut down in the first half. I was worried at the beginning. I was like, yo, like this is the Miami team that went against all odds with a discrepancy or a debated issue to where or controversy of them making it because let's face it, Notre Dame, it's still in my opinion, should have been in the playoffs, right? They did a
Yeah,
swap, which was a bad swap. You just don't do that when you haven't even played a game, right? You get
right.
swapped at a bye week. That's pretty much that's what happened. But Miami, they took advantage of it and they won their games. And look, congratulations to them for their success. But it's not a down on Miami. They did what they had to do. They upset it. And if you look at it, I didn't see. Yeah, here's the bracket. Miami had to beat Texas A&M. Then they had to beat Ohio State. And then they had to play a hot Ole Miss. That's three teams, bro. That's a big accomplishment.
It is. I mean, especially what we seen Indiana do last year. Getting knocked out by Notre Dame. I mean, that kind of gave us a preview of what they were fixing to do this year, and they proved the naysayers wrong and doubters and all that. So yeah, congratulations. I mean, they should have. Well, no, my bad. I'm looking at the Alabama OU game, but yeah,
No.
they went out there and they did their thing. I mean, especially with Oregon, they beat the brakes off of them.
Yes. Yes, they did. That rematch was like, oh, you want
Oh,
a rematch? Toma.
mm, Doma.
So Indiana went ahead and beat Alabama, and then, like you said, beating Oregon, and then went on to beat Miami. And when it was one sided for a while until it wasn't. Okay, and we look back. Listen, they were even in the third quarter, but in the fourth, look, it was even closer, right? If I'm not mistaken, it was 24-21 until Indiana kicked the field goal, and Carson Beck had a chance to win
Hmm.
it, but threw an interception and to seal the deal. Like
Yes.
that was the clincher right there. So, he had an opportunity. I don't know if it was Carson Beck's fault for throwing it or if the receiver didn't go the route, but the receiver went one way, the ball went another, and it just happened to be an interception. And sad to say, that's how it ended the game. So big ups again to Indiana. Uh, to move on past that, these two quarterbacks, Mendoza and Beck, they're going to be one of the top to be in the first round in the NFL draft.
Yeah.
Um, but then there's just something else. And, Carson Beck was questioned about, hey, what happened to the classes and stuff like that. And his response was, dude, I haven't gone to school in a couple of years.
Mm.
So that's raising a red flag. Like, how can you still be in college football for extra 2 years and you already graduated? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
there's got to be there is a discrepancy when it comes to that, but that's for a later time. But just to be aware of how serious the NIL is and how serious is about money is no longer a thing anymore. And if anything, this is becoming more of a minor league football league than
Mm.
college football, which is pretty sad.
Right. Yeah.
So, anyways, we're gonna do that. On the other side, Mendoza, this guy's a highly faithful dude, man. And for him, I gotta respect his beliefs, but also respect the family and how they raised that kid because he's never forgotten where he came from. After the game, not only that he went back, to his mom and hugged his family and everything, but the embracement, like he never let the game be bigger than his family
Right.
because he went back and was thankful enough for that support. And if you know his background, for first of all, he's from Miami, and no one in the state of Florida gave him a chance. This dude had to go all the way to California to be a third string quarterback and wait for other two people to get hurt for him to get a chance.
Right.
And
Yeah.
to find out that the coaches themselves didn't support Mendoza, he hit the transfer portal and landed in Indiana. That's phenomenal. It's a
Mm.
wonderful story, man. But imagine how many others have been in his shoes but never got that luck, never received that opportunity. So, but based on them two and others that are going to enter the NFL draft, right now the Las Vegas Raiders are the number one position, number one to acquire some talent. And the one position that they really need is a quarterback. Do you believe that Mendoza will be a Raider?
I believe so. I believe so. And hopefully that they will use him the right way and try to help build around him to make this team relevant again. Because the Raiders haven't been relevant in a while.
Mm. I'm with you in a sense, but I think it go either way. What if the Vegas picked Carson Beck to be the number one quarterback?
Then I guess,
If you think about it, their tight end Bowers used to play for them. They were in University of Georgia. Would make a lot of sense, but they need a quarter. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what, Vegas, the Jets, the Cardinals need a quarterback
yeah,
because
Kyler
Kyler
Murray,
Murray, dude, he's
he's
washed
done.
up. He's
He's done.
done. And yeah, they're still looking for a head coach in that side.
Yeah.
The Giants don't need any. Cleveland
Mhm.
definitely don't need any. Then again, hopefully Sanders remains as quarterback. If you look down the list, like right now, I mean, who else needs a quarterback?
Looking at
Uh,
that list,
Miami,
maybe
probably.
Miami. Maybe out
Yeah,
of that list right there, maybe Miami. Yeah.
yeah.
But
I mean,
everybody else in the top 18, I mean, everybody else got a quarterback from Washington on down.
right.
It's
So
just the injury. The injury got to a lot of these teams. So
exactly, and I heard that there's a lot of investigation involved because of all these injuries. And a lot of has to do with these parks. They want to build new parks. They want to make it a multi-use arena or a stadium so that it could be more utilized, more funds.
mhm,
Of course, everything's all about profit, right?
yeah,
And it's sad to say that nowadays, and what is it? the way they tackle. Like there's so much into how you tackle and everything else that you're trying to eliminate one, but you're doing damage on the other, right? So hopefully the NFL will figure it out, but it might take another 10 years. And then who knows if they do another lawsuit because other injuries, because people were suing because of CTE. Now people are going to be suing because they lost their legs. And that's sad to say. That's probably more likely going to happen. But we'll move on there. But right now, Mendoza looks like a guy that's going to be leading the Raiders in the near future. But a special thanks really to the head coach, because the fact that what's his name, Kurt Signetti, that's his name,
Yeah, Signetti. Yeah, yeah.
right? Listen, this guy before he went to Indiana was the head coach of James Madison, which, by the way, James Madison was the 12th seed, and he took some of those players and brought them to Indiana. And then he gave a positive culture. Look what he's done. He got there in 2024, 11-2, and got ousted in the first round in the college football playoffs. And then the
Hmm.
next year, he he went to town. He took everybody's name and boom, it was a wrap. It was a done deal. 16-0 and national champion. Look what he did in James Madison. 11-1 in 2023. Like every year was a winning season.
Yeah,
Even during COVID, 7-1. But James Madison was already on the map because of him. And then he took an Indiana job and just changed it within 2 years. That's
yep,
amazing.
yeah, for real.
Yeah.
And just imagine what he can do next year if he continues, building. You know,
And he's very selective of who he gets to the team. And he's
right.
not really looking for 5 stars or 4 stars. That's the beauty of it.
And sometimes you
So,
don't need those type of players to win a game.
yeah. So, anyway, big shout out to Kenny 49ers. I wouldn't want to go to the NFL either if I was this guy. LOL. Hmm. Did I miss something? What was that guy? Who was that guy?
Who is that guy?
Who
Who?
is that guy?
Who? Who?
Carson Beck?
Who?
Is it Carson Beck? Or is it Mendoza? Hey, Kenny, you gotta tell me some more, man. You gotta give me some highlights there. Uh, anyways, this guy's a winner, man, and then he's in the family tree of Nick Saban, which put Nick Saban a lot. He looks real good right now because most of his coaches were all in the college football playoffs. That's
Yeah.
amazing. I just moving to second down because not only are we talking about coaches, uh, we're gonna lead into a coach that got fired, and that's in the Buffalo Bills because the Bills went short, losing 33-30. I, for myself, believe that towards the end of the game, both teams were looking like that they wanted to lose for some reason. I don't know, man.
Oh my God.
This
Yeah.
stuff was crazy. Oh
Nobody
yeah,
wanted to win
Kenny,
that game.
Kenny responded back. He goes
Oh,
Signetti.
Signetti.
Yeah, he said something about I wouldn't want to go to the NFL either if I was this guy. Yeah, I remember that comment. He said that he don't ever want to go to the NFL. I don't blame him either. He's he's one of those coaches that he knows he's in a good place. Why leave at a good place? Especially now he is treated like the king in Indiana, right?
Right.
But sad to say, there was one king in Buffalo who got dethroned, and I don't. I the highlight in all this, the key question about the close officiating calls and the Broncos win over the Bills, that should not even be the headline because the referees follow the rules. When the wide receiver catches the ball and lands on the ground, you gotta have the entirety of the ball, right? So it wasn't not even seconds or whatever it is that he had it secured to where the defender had the ball as well. It was a great call for the referees, and they went ahead and confirmed it, right? So based on that, and also based that this game went to overtime, the coach was like, "Yo, we need to slow down the game." And you know what happened? He he left. He got fired. Questionable cause, and then Look at the reaction from their quarterback, which I understand, man. This guy's playing hard, but the coach got fired. That was a wrap. And all because of what? I always feel like this everything happens for being media driven, but that's not all. I also feel like there's a lot of backstabbing in this, okay? Because they're looking for somebody to blame, okay? And we'll get to these two hires momentarily. But if you look at it here, McDermott gets fired, and it left me in shock because my son told me, "Hey, breaking news, he got fired." I was like, "What? Are you kidding me?" This guy has winning seasons. He went 6 straight times to the playoffs, all double digits, owning. Well, I don't. Besides this year, he didn't own the AFC East, but he made the playoffs. And you're going to fire him? And then the guy responsible for getting the players, the general manager, he gets promoted. What does that tell you?
See, you had said that this could be like media driven, right? What did you say? Just a little bit ago, I think it was like
Yeah, that's
something
it.
like
It
that.
could be media driven. All
Media
right.
driven, right?
They
So
persuade, right? Yes.
I'm going to go in a different route, but almost in the same kind of conversation there. Like I was telling you off the air that some owners, which I think this is with Buffalo's owner, they're more image driven. You know, they're hands on, they're impatient, they want to win now, and they can't seem to get there. But then you get people like the Rooney family in Pittsburgh. To me, they're more stability focused. They're more process driven. You know, they're looking long term. No matter how many times we get to the playoffs and continue to lose, we're going to stick with what we have, and because we're looking to the future here. We're going to see what we can build moving forward. We're not just going to give up after 5 or 6 years because we're not having success in the playoffs. Because
Mhm.
Buffalo wasn't like this with Marv Levy. He took the Buffalo Bills to 4 consecutive Super Bowls, lost all 4 of them. They did not fire him right after the fifth season. They kept him to 97. So he lasted a few more years after they went to the 4 feet that we all call it. You see?
Right.
So why McDermott? I mean, he to me, he is the reason why Buffalo is getting closer and closer and closer of winning, of getting to the Super Bowl. And now, honestly,
I
I don't
think
see
it's a
that
setback.
happening.
It's a
I
setback.
don't. I don't see it happening now. I've been pulling for Buffalo for these last 6 years. Now it's a done wrap. You're going to get the wrong head coach in there, which Buffalo's going to think they're going to get the right head coach in there. Oh, we already got a quarterback. We just need the right head coach. Well, you had the right head coach. You're just not giving him a chance.
Yeah.
He's doing more than any half these other coaches are doing with their teams, with their organizations. He's showing you that, hey, I'm getting closer and closer. How about you help me build those missing pieces, fix those missing pieces, and then we can get there.
I'm
Come
gonna
on, man.
add on to Kenny what he said because it was leading on to what I was about to say. Kenny goes, I'm almost positive Josh Allen had the most turnovers by any quarterback from 2019 to 26, interception and fumbles at some point. You gotta put some blame on Allen, right? Listen, and that game, how are you running the ball and not securing the football when you're running long distance to fumble the ball and give the ball away, especially in the first half when you're trying to score at the very end, right? And he was running, and then when he got tackled, his whole body looked like he was doing in the army you do the what's that, the arm stretch or whatever,
Yeah.
and the
Hmm.
ball comes right out of his hand. Why? Why? I
Why
don't
did that?
understand. Why did that happen? Why you not secure the ball? Don't they teach NFL players when you're running to secure the ball? I'm
I'll
just
see.
saying, like,
I'll see you.
you ready past the line of scrimmage, you should already secure the ball.
Well, I'll see your why, and I'll raise you one. Why did Josh Allen decide to throw that interception when he could have just ran the ball or something? Dude, I mean, that was a waste of a throw. Stevie Wonder could have seen that coming.
Stevie Wonder.
I'm sitting there scratching my head, and I'm telling my wife, I'm not even a Bills fan, and I'm getting pissed off. Why
Oh
did Josh
no.
Allen? You can't tell me McDermott told him to throw that ball.
Hmm.
Come on now.
No.
No.
Man, I tell you,
Mm-mm.
I didn't pick the Bills to win. I thought they were gonna get upset by the Jaguars. It could have been, but it didn't. Uh so I
See,
mean it is what it is.
see, that tells me right there. If they would have lost to the Jaguars, McDermott would have been fired.
That would have made a lot of sense. But when you go to a game and you make it to overtime, you see what I'm
On
saying?
the on the road
On the road,
against the number one
Mile
seed,
High Stadium, which you have difficult times breathing. Okay.
against the
And
number one seed,
yeah,
and you're
yeah,
gonna fire him because you lost on the road in overtime against the number one seed? You're gonna fire him because of that?
yeah. I guess. And you know what's going to bother me the most? If Brian Dable gets hired as a head coach in Buffalo.
If Brian Dable gets hired, you can forget it. That team is going 5-12 next year.
They'll be worse than the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes, they will.
Yes.
And he's gonna drive Allen to the ground.
He's going to
He's gonna
drive the
drive him
whole
out of
organization to the ground. And then that guy that got promoted is going to get fired.
gosh. And then
Oh,
McDermott's gonna be sitting
man.
back laughing.
Listen. Kenny had comments about Josh Allen, but there was a lot of mistakes that Josh Allen did. But at the same time, you cannot win. And I'm going to defend Josh Allen right now. The organizations has put too much trust on Josh Allen. And I believe that last year he had a better chance in going to the Super Bowl and they fell short. This year, those pieces were gone. Buffalo really didn't have a defense. There weren't the key players they had last year were already gone, right? And you want to is it Stephon Diggs, right? Stephon Diggs, the wide receiver. If you was going to rely on him to help him with the offense, you're mistaken. There's a reason why he's been going to different teams, and yet
Mhm.
he's pending on some legal issues right now. So, like they
Yep.
made a terrible investment getting these players to support Josh Allen. And then Josh Allen, if you notice, he's not only just throwing the ball, he's also rushing. He's doing a lot
Mhm.
on his own. And that head coach, you have to give him respect for the rosters that they were giving him. He's made them win every season. But like I think somebody was saying in the media, one of the news, it was like, yo, he's been trying to advocate and say, yo, we need more guys. You know what I mean? We need players.
Mhm.
And if you're not supporting, if you really wanted to win the Super Bowl, you would do whatever it takes to get them in there. But that didn't happen.
Yeah.
It's built with a running game. You got to have a diverse strategy in your play calling. You have to rush. You have to throw. You have to execute. And they didn't have that. And don't tell me because it was the offensive line. No, it was it was terrible. They didn't have enough talent to move forward. That was the bottom line. And he did what he had to do. This game should have never been in overtime.
Yeah.
Never. But it did.
Mhm.
But it did. Last one before we move forward. He said, he's that you guys think Lamar or Allen will ever win a Super Bowl? Neither. Neither will win a Super Bowl. Okay. If Josh Allen wins a Super Bowl, he's gonna go to a different team. He's gonna be like the dude from the Rams. That's it. And I swear to God, Buffalo would not win. Now that you took the head coach out, Buffalo's not going to win. Unless they get Gruden as a head coach of the Buffalo Bills, then I'll say Bills will win. Honestly. But nowadays, when people want to be in that position, they want ownership of the team. And there's a lot of general managers and presidents of the organization, they don't want to give that. They want to put their fingers in there. And it's look at the Dallas Cowboys. They're in the same boat. You know,
They've been like this for years, for
now
decades.
John Harbaugh is got hired by the New York Giants, And that was one of the things that they were talking about. Okay. He wants control. He wants to keep respect him as a Super Bowl champion before Lamar Jackson. Why is it that Lamar Jackson is not the champion now? Why wasn't he? I'm gonna tell you. And a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh no, you're wrong." Dude, you overpaid the quarterback. Hello, they got a salary cap. How are you going to afford people to stay in that team? The Ravens were known for the best elite defense of all time, dating back to year 2000 when they went ahead and beat the New York Giants in the Super Bowl. It's that defense that won, not the quarterback.
Yeah.
Right? And later on, when Harbaugh became the head coach, they won the Super Bowl going against his brother, Jim, when he was the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers.
The blackout game.
Yeah. And guess what? He deserved it. But then all of a sudden you invest in Lamar Jackson and he's supposed to be this awesome dude. He probably is. But how many chances do you get with that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he put him in position to go to the playoffs and the kicker missed. And what did Harbaugh do? He continued to be the head coach. And then you fire him. Why? Because you've made a bad investment of thinking, look, if a player holds out because he wants money, he does not care about winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah, for real.
No one's like Tom Brady. Tom Brady had his contract reconstructed so many times because he wanted to win. And look what happened. He won a lot of rings.
More than any franchise.
Now let's look at the other head coach. I forgot his name, but dude, I've been talking about everybody else but him.
Him?
Yeah.
That's Stefanski?
Yeah, there you go. Listen, I don't blame him too much of what happened in Cleveland because Cleveland's known that they always want to invest in quarterbacks, but they're not diverse in filling all the holes to make them competitive. The Browns in the 80s were a lot better. And I know that the Browns went to become the Ravens. I got it. But the Browns now is like they lost their identity. They draft the wrong people. They picked the wrong people. They did them wrong. And I still think this guy's a good coach for everything he has done. And I think he has a great start with Atlanta, and he is now the new head coach of the Falcons.
Right.
Okay. But for McDermott, I hope he becomes the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. I really do. And if that, I'm going to follow through because then Mendoza's going to have one hell of a season if he's the head coach. But that it is what it is. So I'm just going to leave it like that. Let's go ahead and move on to third down because it is time to talk about our current scenario here in the postseason of the NFL. And we'll start off with I like to call it the semifinals, but it is the AFC NFC Championship. We're looking at the Broncos versus the Patriots and the Seahawks and the Rams. And it all started with the Broncos with the bye week. And then they went ahead and beat the Bills in overtime. On the other side, we have, the Patriots making it, right? They beat the Chargers convincingly, which I was surprised of the score and the outcome. And then they went ahead and beat the Texans, which the Texans, look, they have they were the best defense in the NFL. But CJ Stroud, dude, he struggled. He struggled. And let me see. The Texans played the Steelers. He even messed up against the Steelers. And yet the Texans won. Okay. He fumbled the ball, threw interceptions. I mean, this guy was not all there, and yet Texans still put up 30 points. And that's why I was like, look, if CJ Stroud could stop making mistakes, they could go all the way to the Super Bowl.
And for people to understand, if they forgot that 30-6 blowout, it was a 7-6 game going in the fourth quarter.
Yes. That's what I looked at the scores like, is that right? But then again, the Steelers, they got complacent. I don't want to say complacent. They were not disciplined. They were frustrated with the calls. They got a pass interference. They got a personal foul, and everything led to touchdowns. And that's why it was 30-6. Then they move on and lose to the Patriots. The Patriots got a best defense, but guess what? If there's anyone and you could debate who is the number one offensive coordinator in the NFL. It's got to be Josh McDaniel. Because when he's the OC, any offense look great. But when he's the head coach, he's the worst head coach of the NFL.
Didn't he
What
just
does
get
that tell
signed?
you?
Didn't he
Huh?
just get hired on as an OC?
No, this is his first year as an OC. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. For the Patriots.
So yeah.
I mean, he returned back. Remember, he won Super Bowls with Bill Belichick, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
So anyhow, now that the Patriots and the Broncos, but now Bo Nix is not there. Bo Nix broke his leg, broke his ankle, excuse me. And now they got Stidham, which is a backup quarterback, used to be a backup quarterback for the New England Patriots. That is awesome. What a story to tell, to be honest
I
with
know.
you.
Tell me about
Yeah.
it.
On the other side, the Seahawks had a bye week and then they just manhandled the 49ers. I mean, I lost my bid there. Like, I was not expecting a blowout like that, but the 49ers' true colors came out.
It was
And
over in the first 13 seconds of the game when they ran it back. I was
they
like, it's
showed
over.
up, they lost.
It's over.
What was spectacular and blew my mind was the Rams versus the Bears. The
That's
Rams could have closed it out. How in the world did that quarterback from the Chicago Bears, like, it almost looked like he closed his eyes like Eli Manning did in the Super Bowl and just threw the ball in the air, and all of a sudden the defender of the Rams ran a different direction, and all of a sudden he forgot that he had to defend the end zone.
well, he was listening to that song. Slide to the right, slide to the left. 3 hops this time, and
His
then he
eyes
went back,
went crisscross.
and then went 15 yards backwards just to throw it up in the air. I'm
Oh
like,
man, that should have never happened. Then that dude, it was done, and then we had to go to overtime.
and that was a come on man moment right there. Like, you gotta
Yes,
be kidding me.
yes, yes, yes. Oh my God.
Yeah,
So
oh boy.
anyhow,
Mm.
Rams win. Now we got the rematch of the Seahawks versus the Rams, which, by the way, another rematch. This is another part three for the
Mhm.
Seahawks. 3 games against the 49ers. Now you get your third game against the Rams. The only difference, these guys have a split. So let's predict who's gonna win. But before we do, man, I got my boy over there, Kenny. Man, he long-winded over there. I should have just give him a platform over here. He says, "Go Broncos! Can't cheer for Pats, Seattle or LA." We're gonna do our picks momentarily. He also says Jason Stidham lit up our defense a few years ago. Okay, and then we didn't belong in the playoffs. Well, we continue on. Well, we had a cake schedule and Robert Sala. Okay. Nah, I want to say cake. The NFC West is not cake. And by the way, Robert Sala got a head coaching job with the Tennessee Titans.
Yes, he
So
did.
let's see if he could do a better job than what he did with the New York Jets. But then again, Jets are the Jets, right? Jets. They got to land because they can't take off. And I'm just saying, bad joke. Who cares? Let's start off with the Patriots versus the Broncos at my house stadium. That's the first game on Sunday. And like I love to do, Hector, who you pick?
I got the Patriots, man.
Fair enough. Wait a
Yeah.
minute. Didn't Kenny say he going for the Broncos? He did, didn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah, because he said he can't go for the Pats, and I don't understand why. What
I
is it about the
can't cheer
Pats? You
for the
can't.
Pats.
Yeah, why? What?
Did you know there's 4 letters at the end of American?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
watch it say, oh, no, I'm Mexican. It's same thing. I'm Puerto Rican. Same
Same
thing.
thing.
I'm Jamaican. Wait, no, Jamaican. There you go. All right. Anyhow, uh, why you picking the Patriots?
I like their defense. I think now that they're not elite. I mean, but having Milton Williams on the field, having the Christian Gonzalez at quarterback, cornerback, not quarterback. I
Mhm.
think that improves this defense, and they should be able to get to Stidham. I would have probably swayed a different way if Bo Nix was in there, but to me, Stidham is not that true leader like Bo Nix is. I think this Patriots defense is gonna get to him. Is gonna interrupt a lot of what he thinks he's gonna try to do for this game,
Mm-hmm.
and he's gonna interrupt Stidham's game plan. And I think the Patriots are gonna take advantage of that once again on defense. And hopefully Drake May doesn't have a poor performance like he did against Houston and start throwing all those
Got to
turnovers.
give respect to Houston's defense, man.
Yeah, for real.
You
Oh
know,
yeah.
I mean,
Oh
because
yeah.
they've been playing elite. They have a Super Bowl team, but that offense didn't show up. But I respect that. I'm also going for the New England Patriots for a similar but different reason. You don't
Mhm.
have a run game and you don't have a quarterback. Bo Nix is out. J.K. Dobbins is in IR. Those are your top two players in that offense. You're trying to substitute people to get in there that they didn't play all season. And I got to tell
Mhm.
you that it's just not going to be great. I am taking the points for New England, and I'm also taking. I do predict that this game might be 44 points, so I'm going over
Mm.
the total points. Patriots will win convincingly to go move on to the Super Bowl. Let's go ahead and move on to the next game, the Rams versus the Seahawks. This game is in Seattle, where the 12th man is live at Lumen Field. Um, the winner against the Patriots will be.
The Seahawks.
Mm.
I'm
Tell
going.
me why.
No, man, we start having karaoke night over here.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Look, I don't trust Sam Donald as much, but I mean, with that defense, dude, I mean, something about that Seattle's defense, they're like, they're just on a whole different level, dude. I think they like rank first in defensive success rates on the
Mhm.
design runs. And dude, I think they're gonna get to Matthew Stafford. I think they're gonna make his life a living hell come Sunday. And the way Stafford struggled against that Bears defense in certain points of that game,
Right.
it's gonna be a whole different level for him. And he knows the Seahawks very well. And if he's not on his P's and Q's, I'm sorry, it's gonna be a long day for him. I don't care how well of a veteran quarterback he is. When you're going up against the dark side and not the Legion of Boom anymore, now they're the dark
Mm.
side. Chihuahuas. I'm sorry. I'm taking the Seahawks to get to the Super Bowl.
I had mentioned in the middle of our podcast of if you go back, well, not
Mhm.
everybody, no one's going back. When New England was the top seed and the way they were winning and found their ways of winning, I said they could go against the Rams. Now, my preseason pick was the Los Angeles Rams to win the Super Bowl. And I got a lot of backlash on it because they were like, yo, you crazy? Hell no. It was going to be Detroit or it was going to be San Francisco, right?
Or Buffalo. Yeah.
And the reason why I picked the Rams, and I do believe that Matthew Stafford's this is his last season. That's my prediction. And I said if he goes out and wins the Super Bowl, that's it. He's going to retire. And the head coach may move on to be a commentator, maybe for ESPN or something like that. Guy's about to turn 40 years old pretty soon,
Yeah.
right? Um, and that's how I saw it because there's a lot of veterans in that team, but it's mixed with a lot of young folks, right? On
Hmm.
the other side, I'm gonna say that I was wrong about Seattle because Sam Darnold proved that he can quarterback. He was phenomenal last week. And I'm not saying it because he was a former Jet, went to Carolina, then the 49. He hopped around, but the what happened to him with the Minnesota Vikings, losing to the New York Giants in the playoffs, I was like, oh well, you do good in regular season, you're gonna choke. Well, he got enough support in Seattle, and then I'm like, damn, I can't pick him, and that's that. Every week I gotta say I can't pick him because I cannot change my mind. I'm gonna stick with my guns, right? Middle of the season, I did say Rams versus Patriots, and then I changed my mind when I did my brackets for the playoffs, and I said the Texans are going to go to the Super Bowl. Man, I was wrong. So I'm not going to change my mind. I am going to pick the Rams. And my philosophy is this: Matthew Stafford will get there. Remember, there's a reason why he's thrown over 4,000 yards in the season. You got Williams as the running back. He got a great receiving core. But you're right. I do respect that offensive line need to be as strong as they could because the Seahawks, I feel like they're getting better and better each and every week. Okay.
I do give Rams the props because I think they will shut down Kenneth Walker because
Mm-hmm.
he had a phenomenal game last week, 116 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's not going to repeat that against the Rams. This
Mm-hmm.
is a whole different team. Okay, you played against a depleted 49er team that we already knew was banged up. The Rams are not
Right.
this team. So if Sam Donald is going to win this game, he's going to have to do it mostly in the air. He's going to have to rely on his receivers.
On November 16th, Seattle won 21-19 at home. That was 2 points. On the road, they lost 38-37 in overtime. 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
The spread is 2.5. I am taking the points for the Rams, and I'm taking the over 46.5, baby. I'm taking it. And it's going to be all in. The Rams are going to the Super Bowl. We're going to see a rematch of 2001 when the Patriots won their first Super Bowl with Tom Brady, baby, and Drew Bledsoe had to sit and watch the whole thing unravel. And that's my pick. So we agree with the Patriots and we split with the NFC.
How many times have Rams played the Patriots already?
For
Super Bowl
once.
once, right? The
Yeah.
greatest. No, I'm thinking about the greatest show on turf, right? When that's what the one Tom Brady beat.
That was when they kicked the field goal at the very end.
Right, with Adam Vinatieri.
Yep.
But didn't Brady beat Jared Goff and the
No.
Rams?
Oh, I totally forgot about that Super Bowl.
So this could be a third time between these three
Wait, wait,
teams.
wait, wait. New England and the Rams, 2019, right?
Yeah. Sean McVay.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. Absolutely. Super Bowl 53.
So
That's
they
right.
so
13-3 was the final score.
it was a very boring game, but yeah.
Very boring game indeed,
But
right?
this could is a possibility we could see these two teams play again for a third time in the Super Bowl.
And but the other time the Rams were in St. Louis when the Patriots won 20-17.
Yeah, but it's still the Rams organization. It's still Rams
Right,
versus
right, right.
Patriots.
That was Super Bowl 36.
And so I'm trying to think off the top of my head, have we ever seen two teams? Yes, the Steelers and the Patriot and the Steelers and the Cowboys. They played each other 3 times in the Super Bowl, twice in the
Mm,
70s and once in the 90s. And so now the Rams and Patriots can join that elite group of two teams playing each other 3 different times in a Super Bowl because it's never
nice.
happened before, but with the Cowboys and the Steelers. So this could be the second set of teams to do that. All
Mm,
possibility. See, I'm about fun facts here. And the fun fact is, too, is that out of the 4 teams that are left, we got 4 Super Bowl possibilities. Only one will be a new matchup if it happens. It'll be the Rams and the Broncos. That never
right.
played each other in the Super Bowl. And the other
Mm,
3 are all rematches.
right.
So
The
so yeah,
Broncos is a factor here, yes.
yeah, they're the factor of making this a first time Super Bowl if they play the Rams. Yeah. But
Okay.
other than that, we got rematches across the board with the Seahawks and the Patriots, both ways. So yeah.
We'll see.
I'm all about seeing new matchups, the added to
No,
the intrigue of
absolutely.
it.
Well, we're
But
not seeing the Chiefs
nope,
finally,
no
right?
Bills.
No Bill. And you know what also bothers me is that when the Mahomes didn't make it and the Bengals didn't make it, they were like Josh Allen has to go all the way now because those
I know.
quarterbacks. But I'm like, but he don't go against them. He goes against
The
defense,
defense, yes.
right? So anyhow,
And I was, and real quick before we jump off, is like
right.
that's the one time I defended Tony Romo when he was a Cowboy quarterback.
Mm,
A lot of Cowboy fans were wanting to give him the shoe and kick him out. It's like it's not his fault that the Cowboys are losing. You can't expect this man to put 100 points up every week on offense. The defense
right.
got to do something.
Yeah.
And I remember that the one game that made the argument happen was when the the Colts. Peyton Manning was on the Colts, and they went back and forth with the Cowboys, score for score, offensive scoring barrage. It was like a 51-48, something like that. Don't quote me. But the final score was that close. But they blamed Tony Romo for losing that game. How can you blame him? That when the Cowboys gave up over 50 points on defense?
Then that's the defense's fault, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But you're right. Josh Allen doesn't play against other quarterbacks. He plays against
And
the
he
defense.
don't play defense either.
Right. Exactly.
Right. Exactly.
So, I don't know.
No. If it was me, I would have been changing out the coordinators. So listen, overall, it's going to be a wonderful weekend. Sadly to say that the college football is no more.
Right.
It is what it is, but it's fascinating how the season developed, and I feel like football season goes so fast, man. Just when things start heating up, and then all of a sudden now you got the playoffs, and you be like, damn, what else can I do on the weekend? Well, I'll tell you what. WWE is coming up, the Royal Rumble's coming up, and the next week, our show is coming back, the Hard Hitting Wrestling Show. You can also tune into 4downs3downs.com, or you can also follow us on our YouTube channel, 4downs3 downs. Oh my God, I'm messing
4
up.
down,
4
3 counts.
Or just go to HHW Show Podcast and tune in, baby. All right, he got the shirt, baby. Yeah, yeah. But it's gonna be phenomenal because we start our season right. We're hitting it hard because that's what we are. But not changing the subject, you are tuning into All Four Downs podcast, and like we always say every week, you gotta love some football, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Take care, everyone. Enjoy the weekend. Be safe, especially those that are gonna get hit hard with the blizzard.
Yes.
See ya.
Peace.